But all adjustments are not equal because you're basing it on the area, I think you mentioned as well, right?
Correct. It's nuanced.
Right.
Yeah, there's multiple factors that are going to contribute to it.
Right.
Like the dollar per square foot in some areas is going to be much higher than others.
Right.
Same thing for like a bathroom count.
Right.
If I'm dealing with say a $50,000 to a $75,000 house, and one has just one bathroom, the next house has two bathrooms, one on the main floor. I'm not going into the basement count yet.
Right.
In a $50,000 to $75,000 market, I'm probably only going to make an adjustment of about $3,000 for the additional bathroom.
Okay.
However, you get to Royal Oak, you have
Yeah.
one bungalow that has the typical first floor bathroom.
Right.
You have another bungalow that they've added a second floor bathroom.
Right.
That's going to be probably, I'm going to make it a $5,000 to $10,000 adjustment at least, depending on how nice the bathroom is done and
Right.
how well it's designed.
You hear that, everybody? I need everybody to listen to
Wait,
that
it's-
because
And
they
if
keep.
you have a Royal Oak bungalow, put the bath upstairs first before you do it in the basement. The basement bathroom does contribute to value, however, not as much as a bathroom above grade. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
That adjustment. So you said 5 to 10 versus a 3,000.
But she's saying in Royal Oak though.
Well, I'm saying
yeah,
is
I'm
that
saying that the
because of the
market.
property value? So you said because it wouldn't make if it's a $50,000 or $80,000 home, it wouldn't make sense to making a $10,000
exactly, you're getting what I'm saying, right?
Right,
It's
okay.
market. It's market. All the adjustment amounts are typically market derived.
Okay.
We take a look at what's going on in that specific market.
Right.
Some of the higher end homes, like especially once you get over the $500,000 market,
Right.
there's been times where I've probably hit. I think one time I hit a bathroom for like $20,000 because they had an extra bathroom compared to the comps, but it was extraordinary.
Right.
They probably spent $50,000 on this
Right.
bathroom. So. Same thing goes for finished basements.
Right.
That's another big question I get a lot. And
Answer it.
they all hate it. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. I've seen extraordinary basements.
Okay.
Before the crash, I'll never forget this one condo I appraised. It was an attached high-end condo in Clinton Township. And it had a large basement. It was like a 2,500 square foot condo. So at the time, it was like a $200,000 to $300,000 price range. They spent $75,000 finishing their basement.
Right.
They had a beautiful oak bar with brass rails. They had a sauna. They had a steam room. They had a bar that was just better than most people would ever put in their house upstairs, let alone in a basement. And it wasn't even a daylight basement. It was a standard, regular basement. And they went to go get a refinance, and I got chosen as the appraiser for the refi appraisal. And they were literally expecting to get dollar for dollar out of that.
Right.
And not only that, they had only lived there a couple of years, and at that time, we were in a stable market. We
Right.
weren't seeing extraordinary appreciation. So I ended up appraising it. If I'm going guesstimate here, but I want to say it was probably only like $20,000 or $20,000 to $50,000 more than what they paid for it, and they were pissed.
Right.
I got a call from the lender on that, and I'm like, listen, especially it's a condo. We
Right.
have to use apples to apples, oranges to oranges.
Right.
And this is the absolute highest price that's sold in that neighborhood is this. And I even went above that in my
Right.
appraisal because I said the subject is superior to the highest comparable sale.
Right.
But nowadays that wouldn't fly, But it did fly back then because I demonstrated my reasoning for it.
Right.
They did have this extraordinary basement. It did contribute to overall marketability appeal, and it did increase the value of that condo, but not $75,000.
Right.
But you said nowadays it wouldn't apply, meaning that
Extraordinary.
I actually just did a report with this.
Okay.
I appraised a property in a subdivision, standard pretty much sub that was built in the early 70s where you have the ranch, colonials, tri-levels, and quad levels, standard size lots, right? And the comparable I had, or the property I had to appraise was superior to all the comps in the neighborhood that have sold.
Right.
And I did bring it in higher than any of the comps had sold for. And I thought I did a really good job explaining it. I did lots of photos, explained everything out in the report. Sure enough, they came back with revision requests. And they're like, we need a higher comp. You have to show us something that sold for above what you're praising this house for,
Right.
period. I mean, it wasn't an ask; it was a you must.
Right.
So I ended up having to use a colonial, even though it was larger, but it had sold for a lot more, and I ended up making it work. But otherwise, that appraisal report may have been very well denied by the lender just because I couldn't find anything or another property in that neighborhood that had sold for higher than, you know. I was appraising the house for higher than the highest sale.
Right.
So they do not like to see that. They want it. They want the price bracketed. Period.
Median
So
or something.
you have to have something that sold for higher
Right.
than what you're appraising the property for.